understood. I grew up overnight. I played alone, I played on my own. I survived. Hey, I wanted everything I never had, like the love that comes with life. I wore envy and I hated that, but I survived. I had a woman that took her to a place where all the demons go, where the wind don't change and nothing on the ground can ever grow. No hope, just lies, and you're taught to cry in your pillow. But I survived. I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. I found solace in the strangest place, way in the back of my mind. I saw my life in a stranger's face, and it was mine. I had a woman that took her to a place where all the demons go, where the wind don't change and nothing in the ground can ever grow. No hope, just lies, and you're taught to cry in your pillow. But I survived. I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. Took it out, but I'm still breathing. You 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 took it out, but I'm still breathing. I made every single mistake that you could ever possibly make. I took and I took and I took what you gave, but you never noticed that I was in pain. I knew what I wanted, I went out and got it. Did all the things that you said that I wouldn't. I told you that I would never be forgotten. I knew in spite of you. And I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing. I'm alive. I'm still breathing. I'm alive. I'm alive.
Maybe this is all a little crazy, but I wanna know if you'd come run away with me. Because you are thinking about my love. Because I thinking about your love. And maybe it's euphoria that's talking now, but I wanna breathe you in and never breathe you out. Because you are thinking about my love. Because I thinking about your love. We're diamonds in the rough. The stars are made of us. Nothing can bring us down, down, down. We got that super love. thinking about my love, because thinking about your love. And maybe you don't know what you got till it's gone. I'm already so far gone in what you got me on, because you are thinking about my love, because thinking about your love. We're diamonds in the rough, the stars are made of us. Nothing can bring us down, down, down. We got that super love. We got that super love. We got that super love. Nothing can bring us down, down, down. We got that super love. They say we got our heads in the clouds, I don't mind. So forget about your lows and your highs in the sky. We got that super love. We got that super love. Nothing can bring us down, down, down. We got that super love. We got that super love. We got that super love. Nothing can bring us down, down, down. We got that super love. I'm coming out from the shadows, shooting straight like an arrow. Ain't nothing gonna slow me down, yeah. I'm gonna float like a cool breeze, stand taller than a palm tree. Ain't nothing gonna cut me down, yeah. I remember all the words you said, that a crazy heart can never rest. And when your light starts fading out, don't keep waiting for an open door. Break the lock and get something more. Make a move 'cause you're alive, alive. Ain't gonna get a second chance. Life ain't nothing but a crazy dance. Let the moves 'cause you're alive, alive. Never had to go it so low, 'cause your love read me head to toe. All I wanted was to make you proud, yeah. I just wanna hold you so close, in return be your raincoat. When the rain wants to drown you out, yeah. I remember all the words you said, that a crazy heart can never rest. And when your light starts fading out, don't keep waiting for an open door. Break the lock and get something more. Make a move 'cause you're alive, alive. Ain't gonna get a second chance. Life ain't nothing but a crazy dance. Let the moves 'cause you're alive, alive. We're alive, we're alive, we're alive, alive. We're alive, we're alive, we're alive, alive. We're alive, we're alive, oh we're alive, alive. You can always break the rules, you can always dare to dance, but you gotta take a chance, a chance. You can always break the rules, you can always dare to dance, but you gotta take a chance, a chance. Don't keep waiting for an open door. Break the lock and get something more. Make a move 'cause you're alive, yeah. that moves 'cause you're alive, alive. We're alive, we're alive, we're alive, alive. We're alive, we're alive, we're alive, alive. We're alive, we're alive, oh, we're alive.
The 2025 Australian Museum Eureka Prizes award ceremony is about to commence. Please take your seats and ensure your devices are set to silent. Good evening and welcome to Sydney Town Hall for the 2025 Australian Museum Eureka Prizes. We kindly request that you turn your attention to the stage for the Welcome to Country, delivered by Uncle Charles Chicka Madden.
Good evening, folks. My name is Charles Madden, but known around the inner city of Sydney as Chicka. Now, that's a nickname that I got many, many years ago going to Redfern Public School, which is now NCIE, the National Centre of Indigenous Excellence. Folks, I'm from Gadigal land. Aboriginal land, that's the land we're on at the moment. For many, many years, I've lived and worked around the city of Sydney. I've been involved with quite a few Aboriginal organisations over the years. I've been a director with the Aboriginal Medical Service at Redfern for over 40 years. Also a director with the Redfern Aboriginal Housing Company, Aboriginal Hostels Australia, and the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council. I've got to mention it, folks. Also a life member of the Redfern All Blacks Rugby League Football Club. Folks, for many, many years I've lived and worked around the city of Sydney. I'd like to take this opportunity this evening to extend a warm and sincere welcome to all of my Aboriginal brothers and sisters, non-Aboriginal brothers and sisters. If we have any brothers and sisters here from the Torres Strait or further afar across the seas, welcome. Welcome to Gadigal land. The Gadigal clan is one of 29 that makes up the Eora Nation. The Eora Nation is bordered by 3 distinctive landmarks. We have the Hawkesbury River to the north, and the Peen to the west, and the Georges River to the south. Those 3 rivers form the boundaries of the Eora Nation. Folks, if you've travelled across this great city of ours today, the state or this great country, or from afar, welcome. Welcome to Gadigal land. Enjoy your stay. Have a safe and trouble-free trip home. Once again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Enjoy the evening, folks. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage the Director and CEO of the Australian Museum, Kim McKay AO.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 35th Australian Museum Eureka Prizes. It is a very exciting night for our nominees in the 19 prize categories we'll be celebrating this evening, and also for all the organisations they represent. And everyone looks just great. Thank you. Let's give an early round of applause to all of our nominees. Could the nominees stand, please? Come on, stand up. Thank you all so much. It's going to be a really fun evening for sure with those supporter crews out there, I could hear. I'm Kim McKay, as you saw on the sign, the Director and CEO of the Australian Museum. And this is my 12th year officiating at the Eureka Prizes. And it's my honour, along with the rest of the AM team, to host you in the spectacular Sydney Town Hall on Science's Night of Nights. Thank you for the warm welcome to country, Uncle Chickamadden. I'm always proud to say I live and work on Gadigal land. This is home to ancient scientific traditions, many still practiced by Gadigal elders to this day. At the Australian Museum, we aim to bridge ancient wisdom with contemporary discovery, demonstrating that the future of Australian science lies in honouring First Nations and Western scientific traditions. The Australian Museum has created that nexus where science meets culture. I'd also like to acknowledge the Director of First Nations at the Australian Museum, a Walwyn woman, Laura McBride. Her groundbreaking leadership in First Nations advocacy, along with her team, have created a new paradigm for Indigenous consultation and truth-telling in museums across Australia and the Pacific. For 3.5 decades now, the Australian Museum Eureka Prizes have been the nation's gold standard, recognising the innovation, ideas and advocacy that can change the course of history and unlock the answers to some of the most complex challenges of our time. Now, that all started with the incomparable Robin Williams AO, science broadcaster and then president of the Australian Museum Trust, who set out in 1989 to create awards for science that were prestigious, important, nationally and internationally known. And he convinced Neville Wran, who was then the Premier of New South Wales, to support the awards. Robin couldn't be here tonight, but he said in a note to me yesterday, quote, "We agreed back then something that even Australians hadn't realised, that since here is superb, and we have to recognise the uniqueness and complexity of nature in Australia and meet the challenge to study it as it deserves, and then let everyone know what has been discovered." He continued, "The Eureka Prizes have now encouraged everyone, from professional scientists to citizen scientists, to join the quest, creating the highest standards for all to know and enjoy." Now, just last week, Robin and his team celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Science Show on ABC Radio National. His achievements have been many, but one thing is certain. Robin Williams has done more over the past 50 years to communicate science and promote understanding and impact and importance of it than anyone else in our nation. He's represented here tonight by the wonderful science journalist and producer, Dr. Jonathan Webb, and they continue to broadcast on ABC Radio National each week. There are some other wonderful people, of course, in the room tonight as well, who I'd like to acknowledge. We're pleased to be joined by the current president of the Australian Museum Trust, Brian Hartzer, a trailblazer in his own right, and resident expert on using artificial intelligence. Trust me, it's true. As well as other members of the Australian Museum Trust, including Professor Kathy Belov AO, who chairs the AM Science Advisory Board, and Emeritus Professor Shirley Alexander AM, who chairs our Education Committee, along with the Honourable Carmel Tebbit, a former New South Wales Minister for Health and Education, and now running the Odyssey House. We're now welcoming almost 100,000 New South Wales school students each year to the Australian Museum, and 1.5 million visitors through our doors each year. I'd also like to welcome Dr. Marjorie O'Neill, MP, Parliamentary Secretary for Transport and Member for Coogee, on behalf of the Minister for the Arts, our Minister, the Honourable John Graham, MLC, and we'll hear from Marjorie very soon. I'd like to also welcome Alex Greenwich MP, the member for Sydney. Alex, I need to tell you about some guttering issues. No, I won't. Anthony Lean, Secretary of the Department of Climate Change, Energy, the Environment and Water. Professor Sharath Shiram, Chief Scientist of Western Australia, who is among all the chief scientists in Australia who met at the Australian Museum just the week before last to discuss our futures. A special welcome to Jeremy Cornforth, the Consul General of the United States of America. We have an important partnership with the US working on the TOWIE project in the Pacific. And also then from all of our universities represented tonight, from the Australian National University, represented by Professor Genevieve Bell AO, Vice-Chancellor, and Professor Lachlan Blackhall, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Research and Innovation. From the University of Technology, Sydney, Professor Kate McGrath, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Research, and Dr. Alana Piper, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, External Engagement and Partnerships, and we also have a wonderful partnership with UTS. From the University of New South Wales, Professor Merlin Crossley, AM, a former Australian Museum trustee, Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Academic Quality, and Professor Bronwyn Fox, AO, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Research and Enterprise. From the University of Sydney, of course, alongside Kathy Belov, AO, the Pro-Vice-Chancellor of Global Research Engagement, is Professor Lucy Marshall, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Community and Leadership. From Swinburne University of Technology, Professor Karen Hapgood, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Research. And the many other university deans and science leaders represented tonight at the nominees' tables. I want to give a special shout out tonight to the Macquarie University table. I think you're up for 5 awards. That could be a record. Congratulations to Executive Dean Professor Sam Muller and Pro Vice Chancellor Research Performance and Development Professor Amanda Barnier. And another special shout out to our partners from the Botanic Gardens Sydney, headed by CEO Simon Duffy AM. Now, we collaborate on the Sydney Science Trail together as part of National Science Week and other great community and science projects, as well as the Sydney Institute of Marine Science, or SIMS, led by Director and CEO Martina Doblin, who is from UTS. Welcome to you all. To prize partners who've sponsored the 19 awards tonight and all of our incredible judges in the room, thank you sincerely for making your time available to make this year's Eureka Prizes one to remember. And I promise you, you'll all be in the spotlight very soon. And of course, I want to thank my team, the Australian Museum's executive leadership team, who are here in force tonight, especially our new acting chief scientist, Professor Shane Aong, a globally renowned crustacean expert, and acting director of the Australian Museum Research Institute, Ms. Julie Elmers. You'll be hearing from Shane later this evening. And in case you didn't know how important crustaceans are in his life, his recent discovery of a new mantis shrimp species earned recognition from the World Register of Marine Species as one of the top 10 new species discovered in 2024. I should also mention that there is another Science Awards happening tonight in Canberra. It's the Australian Academy of Sciences Science at the Shine Dome Gala dinner, and we wish the Academy and all their prize winners the very best this evening. Obviously, we're both really very good at science and not so good at coordinating awards calendars. Now, scientific achievement is on everyone's mind right across Australia tonight, for sure. And we're also marking a milestone here in achievement in gender representation from our 2025 Eureka Prize cohort. We are celebrating 59 women and 58 men among our finalists. And there will be 20 women and 24 men taking home awards this evening. Last year, we had 23 women and 27 male winners, many from collaborative teams. So it's safe to say we're seeing that Australian science is successfully drawing from our full spectrum of talent, and STEM inclusion projects are starting to have a positive impact at the very pointy end. We're also seeing more cross-sector entries, with institutions collaborating and partnering, more universities sharing their expertise and innovations with each other, and most states and territories represented tonight. But to ensure Australia continues to thrive, and indeed excel on the world stage in science, we need even greater investment in R&D than ever before. The investment in R&D has sadly fallen to 1.7% of GDP and is below the OECD average of 2.7%. Many in our university sector have long advocated for national investment in R&D to be lifted to at least 3% of GDP. Now, when we see some leading nations abrogating their commitments to investment in science, surely there's a door slightly opening for Australia to step up. If our government leaders are looking for inspiration, then look no further than tonight's Eureka Prize winners. Of course, in 2027, just 2 years from now, the Australian Museum will mark 200 years of unbroken scientific discovery and research. We're the second oldest scientific organisation in Australia after the Royal Botanic Garden. And we are the first museum in Australia and the 5th oldest natural history museum in the world. Yeah. The AM is a living laboratory where every specimen, every collection, every researcher contributes to humanity's expanding knowledge of life on Earth. The AM's collections, and their numbers 22 million of them objects and specimens, representing some $1.4 billion in critical national infrastructure. But their true value transcends monetary measures. We stand with museums worldwide as caretakers of Earth's biological heritage. 90% of everything discovered on our planet resides in museums. So we are the living history of biodiversity itself. These aren't static displays either. They're dynamic data sets powering tomorrow's breakthroughs, from predicting climate futures to preventing extinctions, from developing new medicines to understanding evolutionary history. The Australian Museum collections, like other natural history museums in each state capital and in the CSIRO, are the building blocks upon which Australia's understanding of our natural environment will be built. Tonight, I'd also like to acknowledge 3 nonagenarians whose impact on science and communication is unrivalled. The first, Sir David Attenborough, who is the lifetime patron of the Australian Museum. Sir David, now 99 years old, recently released his latest film, as of course you would, Oceans. And it reminds us we're living through the greatest age of marine discovery in human history, and that we can turn around the damage that's being done to our oceans. David is committed to convincing us that there is hope, with a capital H. It's a powerful message. Another marine advocate is Dr. Sylvia Earle, or Her Deepness, as she is known in the United States, who turned 90 years old last weekend and continues to be an inspiration to young people and marine scientists around the world. And the third is the legendary Dr. Jane Goodall, who is 91 and whose quest to raise awareness of our natural world has never diminished. We need to listen to these 3 wise elders about the impacts of climate change on our world. I've had the incredible privilege of working with all 3 of them at different points in my career when I was at National Geographic and here at the Australian Museum. And I can tell you their commitment never falters. They simply never give up, and nor should we. And to ensure your inspiration and hope continues in the future, we're giving each of you a gift from the Australian Museum tonight. In the back of your programs, you'll find a QR code giving you a complimentary ticket to our latest exhibition, Relics. It will take you to a new world, which imagines that humans have destroyed the planet and become extinct due to climate change and other environmental impacts. True. The world has been taken over by Lego minifigures who inhabit discarded objects and structures. There's even a new version of a museum created in the exhibition. You can see if you can find me in there when you come along. I'm the blonde one with the glasses holding a microphone. Yes, my minifigure has never seen a microphone she didn't like, just like me. Now, it's great for kids and you're in a child, and I want to show you sort of what I look like in there so you can find me. That's me sitting at my desk in the museum. You can see the blonde hair and the glasses as a start, and no, I'm not talking in that one. But it's great for kids to bring along, but also you're in a child too. So bring a friend or two, and it's open until February. Thank you to every Eureka entrant tonight, every supporter, our partners, and every advocate who ensures that Australian science continues to light the way forward here and in our world. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Marjorie O'Neill, representing our Minister, the Honourable John Graham, MLC. Marjorie is the member for Coogee. She knows only too well the importance of healthy oceans and pristine beaches. Please welcome Dr. Marjorie O'Neill, and everyone, have a great time tonight. See you later.
Kim, thank you very much for your warm welcome. Uncle Chicka, thank you very much for your very gracious welcome to country. I too acknowledge that we are on Gadigal land and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Unlike Kim, I'm not going to pit universities against each other. Having done my undergraduate degree at UOW, postgrad at UTS and my PhD at Macquarie, I know too well that pitting universities against each other, particularly at a time when we want them all to collaborate with each other, would probably be a bad move on my behalf. It is my absolute honour to be here this evening on behalf of Minister Graham, here for our country's most comprehensive National Science Awards, but I must stop and think, how many PhDs does it take in a room to coordinate an event? And I say that as I come from a family of multiple PhDs and we can barely pull things together ourselves. And I do want to acknowledge and really highlight the unique and special nature of having one of Australia's preeminent science research institutes fall under the cultural industries umbrella, showing really how at the heart both science and art are natural companions. And really I want to acknowledge how the museum and the Australian Museum Research Institute foster scientific curiosity in each and every one of us, not only through the STEM-focused programming, but also by supporting PhD students to ensure that our brightest scientific minds find professional homes here in New South Wales, but also by welcoming everyone to the Australian Museum with free general admission, supported by the New South Wales Government, to share this wonderful natural world. And I have to say, I think you would be pretty hard-pressed to not find a young family in Sydney who's traversed the museum, sparking curiosity in the young and the old. And in my experience, it's often resulted in parents having to learn long, complicated Latin dinosaur names so not to be shown up by a 4-year-old. But less about that. Tonight is about the award winners and the nominees. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Your work, your hard work, your research is incredibly important. So regardless of whether you win tonight, we know that you are making a huge contribution to the science here in our state and across our country. Thank you for having me and have a good evening.
Please welcome to the stage two of Australia's most brilliant and beloved science communicators. Between them, they've turned complex ideas into captivating stories using their trademark humour, intelligence and charm to inspire audiences across the nation. Bernie Hobbs and Adam Spencer.
Not in that order. Good evening, everyone. First of all, thanks to Uncle Chicka for that beautiful, warm welcome to country. Also, huge thanks to Kim McKay and to Dr. Marjorie O'Neill for those inspiring opening remarks. And to you, welcome to the 2025 Australian Museum Eureka Prizes. It's fantastic to have you here. The Eurekas, as you know, are the nation's most comprehensive science awards, honouring excellence across research and innovation, leadership, science engagement and school science.
How about a quick show of hands? Put your hand up if you're at your first ever Eurekas this evening.
Aww,
big round of applause to all the newbies. Welcome, 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 welcome. We're so excited to have you here for an evening that is presented annually in partnership with some of Australia's leading scientific institutions, government organisations, universities and corporations. We come together to celebrate the best of Australian science. It does mean, Bernie, the night's going to be very, 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 very smart.
Very, 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 very smart and also very, 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 very stylish. You lot scrub up extremely well. And I'm not sure if it's the collective number of the degrees in the room, but it's getting a bit hot in here. Yeah. Nice. Sorry, that's the last of the lewd comments. It'll all be very respectable from now on. And I do just want you to know you're all in safe hands tonight because I'm pretty sure between us, Adam and I have hosted more Eureka Prizes then there have been actual Eureka Prizes. So welcome, welcome newbies and one and all.
It's true, Bernie. I go back so far in this, I can remember the first year, the controversy that surrounded when we first presented the Eurekas in English as opposed to Latin. We got a lot of heat for that.
Mea culpa.
That has proven to be the right decision. It's an especially exciting time for science in Australia. Of course, we've just wrapped up National Science Month, the month of August. A month of inquiry, of exploration, of discovery, of where Australians of all ages and backgrounds come to celebrate the beauty of science. I think it's fitting that we wrap that with tonight's Eureka Prizes.
Absolutely, and while we're celebrating here in Sydney, we all know science never sleeps, so some of our finalists are actually at international conferences as we speak, representing our science to the rest of the world. Some of Australia's other best scientists are, as Kim mentioned, at that other gig at the Shine Dome this evening. I am really impressed and rapt and want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for choosing us, the right gig, to come to tonight, for those of you who are invited to both.
Let's be honest, Bernie, it wasn't that difficult a decision, was it? I mean, with the greatest respect to our friends gathering in Canberra, if you score a ticket to the Academy Awards, you don't reply, sorry, I'm expected at the Logies, do you? No, you do not. And hasn't it been a wonderful year for Australian science? Australians kicking goals in some of our areas of strength, in quantum, in artificial intelligence. A group of scientists at the University of Queensland have just grown functioning, living human skin in the lab. First ever in the world to do it. But my favourite, round of applause, University of Queensland, but my favourite scientific breakthrough of 2025 recently announced they just discovered on the floor of the Grand Canyon, which 500 million years ago was covered in ocean, they've discovered the fossilised remains of 500 million-year-old penis worms. Now, it turns out, everyone's favourite marine worm, the penis worm, it turns out, as opposed to your 2025 penis worm that clocks in at about 3 millimetres in length, 500 million years ago, penis worms were anything up to 20 centimetres long.
Yeah.
I say that for two reasons, Bernie. One, just in the spirit of celebration of scientific inquiry, and two, I'm just loving watching our Auslan interpreter sign penis worm.
Give it up for our Auslan interpreters. And thanks, Adam. That is clearly the first episode in history of a member of a species exaggerating the length of their membership. Never before, only in the contemporary marine penis worm. Beautiful stuff. Appreciate you bringing it to me. It is really exciting to be back at the Australian Museum Eureka Prizes this year. It is the 35th year, as Kim said. Phenomenal. These awards have been going for so long. And tonight we have, you may not have a sense of it sitting at your table, we have got 500 people in the room here tonight celebrating science. That is fantastic. We have also got a huge online crowd. Give a big wave. Yeah, everybody. No, they can't see you, sorry. But it's the vibe that counts. And we have got 21 prestigious awards in total to deliver this evening, including 2 brand new categories. First of all, the Eureka Prize for Excellence in Forensic Science, and second, the Eureka Prize for Societal Impact of Science. The big guns.
Wonderful stuff. It is, of course, 2025, so don't forget, if it doesn't happen on social media, it didn't happen. Get the conversation out there tonight using the hashtag Eureka Prizes. One quick hack, if you are on X, formerly Twitter, simply follow the Australian Museum, because immediately after the announcement of any winner, they'll put out a beautiful little tweet with all the details, video, etc. Just forward that out into the digital ecosphere and tell the world about this great science that we are celebrating this evening. Please make sure you have put your phones, however, on silent, because while we had the beautiful musical strains of the Sydney Ensemble to kick off the evening, and they'll be back to entertain us again, let's be honest, your marimba ringtone does not add to the ambience of the evening. Phones on silent, please.
I think that's absolutely fair enough. Now, we're just about to get on to the good stuff, but before we do that, I would like to do a little bit of housekeeping, because I'm a lady. If you're announced as a winner tonight, come straight up to the stage, and while you're making your way up, we'll play a celebratory 30-second clip of your work. Once that clip's over, you make your way up here. You receive in a seamless production line. You receive your award. You shake a hand and have a photograph taken, and you make your way over to the lectern for the world's shortest acceptance speech. We really appreciate that very much.
There you go. And as a man, I'll stand near you while you're doing the housekeeping and pretend I was involved in any way at all. To all our finalists, we know you're nervous. What we're saying up here is probably just a blur of words. If you only remember 2 words of this whole opening, can it be the 2 words Bernie just said, very and short? She said them just before the words acceptance speech. Please try and keep your speeches to 30 seconds. I know you've got so many colleagues and family you want to thank. We'll also ask you a quick question once you're done to find out even more about the amazing work that makes your science so special.
All right, that's it for all the rules and the backgrounders. I'll leave you to kick it off, Adam. Enjoy.
Fantastic. Please give Bernie Hobbs a big round of applause. The first prize of the evening is the 2025 Eureka Prize for Outstanding Early Career Researcher, a prize awarded to an outstanding scientific research conducted by an individual at the early stages of their research adventure. And to announce the first winner of the night, I'm delighted to welcome the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Science and Engineering at Macquarie University, Professor Samuel Muller, to the stage. As the professor comes forward, here are the finalists.
Dr. Hasindhu Gamarachi, University of New South Wales and Garvan Institute of Medical Research, for new, scalable, efficient and accessible computer processing of genomic data. Dr. Shuan Lee, University of Technology, Sydney, creating drainage systems of the future with predictive, flood-resistant infrastructure. Dr. Aman Siavashi, the University of Sydney, for pioneering advanced cryogenic methods in liquefied natural gas and hydrogen.
What a sight, what a privilege to kick off this evening with the first prize. And the winner of the 2025 Macquarie University Eureka Prize for Outstanding Early Career Researcher is Dr. Hasindhu Gamarachi.
Please welcome Hasindhu to the stage and let's hear a little bit more about Hasindhu's work.
Modern genome sequencing is transforming fields like medicine, agriculture, and ecology. Sequencing data is enormous though, so needs huge supercomputers to analyze. But still, it takes a very long time. My research is to build computational methods that are fast, efficient, and scalable. From open source methods to portable computing devices, these methods are making genomics more accessible.
Congratulations, Hasindhu. Hasindhu, your research is making genomic sequencing far more efficient, accessible and scalable. What are the key innovations in your approach to genomic data processing compared to the traditional supercomputer-dependent ways of doing things?
Was that a question?
That was a question. Admittedly, you were meant to do your speech first. I've completely screwed up there. So while you consider your answer, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
So I'm quite honored to have this award, and it's also very encouraging to me to keep going what I have been doing. Even though this is an individual award, I would like to thank all the people who has been behind me throughout the journey and also research. And special thanks to Professor Sri Parameswaran, who insisted and nominated me for the award. Thank you.
Fantastic. Now, Hasindhu, while I've got you there, I'm sure everyone in the room is wondering, your research is making genomic sequencing far more efficient, accessible and scalable. What are the key innovations in your approach to genomic data processing compared to the traditional supercomputer-dependent ways of doing things?
Oh, so if I say in simple terms, it's possible to do these things in little handheld computers rather than using a supercomputer. Plus, it's cheap. You don't have to break the bank to do their analysis.
It's a wonderful achievement. Our first award winner tonight. Congratulations, Dr. Jacinto Gamarachi, and thank you, Professor Samuel Moore. Our next prize this evening is the 2025 Eureka Prize for Excellence in Interdisciplinary Scientific Research. This is where we acknowledge outstanding a research outcome that was only possible due to the integration of two or more disciplines or bodies of specialised knowledge. So to announce the winner, we're joined by the Senior Business Development Manager, New South Wales for Business Events Perth, Emily Kelly. As Emily makes her way to the stage, here are the finalists.
The Cross Currents Initiative, Macquarie University, University of Wollongong, City University of Hong Kong and University of Hong Kong, for interdisciplinary research into coastal ecosystem dynamics in light of climate change. Octopus and Ice Sheet Team, James Cook University, CSIRO and Antarctic Research Centre, for dating an ancient Antarctic ice sheet collapse through octopus DNA. Staying strong with arthritis, the University of Melbourne, the University of Western Australia, Griffith University, University Centre for Rural Health, Arthritis and Osteoporosis Western Australia and Arthritis Australia. A targeted arthritis education resource program co-created with Indigenous people.
And the winner for the 2025 Aspire Scholarship Eureka Prize for Excellence in Interdisciplinary Scientific Research is the Octopus and Ice Sheet Team.
As they make their way to the stage, let's hear more about the Octopus and Ice Sheet Team.
For decades, scientists wondered what the West Antarctic ice sheet was like 120,000 years ago, when temperatures were 1.5 degrees warmer than pre-industrial times.
We analysed the genomes of Antarctic octopus and found that their ancestors had migrated across open seaways at this time, indicating the ice sheets had collapsed.
Losing this ice sheet to climate change could result in 5 metres of global sea level rise. Our findings suggest that this could happen even if we reach Paris Agreement targets.
Saying things I've never said, doing things I've never done. Oh my God, when I see you I should have run, but I'm frozen.
Wow, the piece of paper is needed. I'd like to acknowledge my fellow finalists and all of the finalists here tonight, the Australian Museum and the Eureka Committee. I'm really honoured to accept this award on behalf of my team, who are not here, Sally Lau, Jan Strugnell, Nick Gollidge and Tim Naish. And I'd also like to thank others who have contributed to the work along the way. It always takes a village to make these big projects happen. It's also really fitting to be here since our work relied heavily on the foundation of museum specimens. And I think these specimens are such wonderful time capsules, and we need to look after them into the future, and we need to continue asking investigative questions of them. I'd also like to thank the ARC for funding the work, and particularly because sometimes crazy ideas are the best kind. Thank you.
Can I ask, Nerida, because it might seem to some people a crazy idea, how does studying octopus DNA help you trace an ice sheet collapse? And what is it about that approach that's possibly even stronger than just the traditional geological data?
Well, it's harder. Obviously, interdisciplinary research is tricky. We looked into the genomes of octopus, did demographic modelling to understand where population and when population connectivity was happening in the past. And we could tell that populations were connected because a big barrier was gone out of the way. And that, unfortunately, is the West Antarctic ice sheet. So we could figure out a time in the past where environmental conditions similar to now, that ice sheet was lost. And this will help us understand modelling into the future of what things might look like.
Fascinating stuff. Congratulations to the Octopus and Ice Sheet team, and thank you so much, Emily Kelly. So we move on now to the 2025 Eureka Prize for Outstanding Science in Safeguarding Australia, a prize that is awarded for outstanding research that's led to or has the potential to lead to practical improvements for Australia's national security or capability for defence. To reveal the winner, please join me in welcoming to the stage Australia's Chief Defence Scientist, Professor Tanya Munro, AC. And here are our finalists.
Dr. Kamal Kant Gupta, Department of Defence, and Dr. Jafar Shojai, Macquarie University, University of Melbourne, Swinburne University of Technology, developed a semiconductor chip that resists radiations and safeguards critical electronic systems. Jesper Munk Quantum Laboratories team, the University of Adelaide and the University of Queensland, for its quantum antenna that can detect enemy assets 10 times faster. Associate Professor Marion Andre Rizzolio, University of Technology, Sydney, for new mathematical models to detect malevolent digital agents.
On behalf of the Department of Defence, I congratulate all the finalists and every scientist who contributes to the defence of Australia. The winner of the 2025 Department of Defence Eureka Prize for Outstanding Science in Safeguarding Australia is Dr. Kamal Kant Gupta and Dr. Jafar Shojai.
As Kamal and Jafar come forward, let's find out a bit more about their work.
Today's world relies on secure communications using sensitive electronics which must withstand the harshest environments on land, sea and in space.
Defence Science and Technology Group has collaborated with Melbourne, Swinburne and Macquarie universities to develop radiation-protected semiconductor chip using innovative techniques and architectures. This work leads to protection of Australian defence systems, satellites and allow critical communication and infrastructure to operate in contested conditions.
At the table doing shots, tripping fast, and then we talk slow. Come over and start up a conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my hand, slap on the man on the jukebox, and we start to
dance. Oh, what a great honor here. It's a great honor to me and my colleague Zafar to receive this prestigious award. We are deeply humbled and we're truly grateful to Australian Museum for this recognition. My heartfelt gratitude goes to Defence Science and Technology Group and its senior management for their unwavering support and belief in our work. I'm grateful to Zafar for his expertise we used in this work and dedication to his work. And also big thanks to Andrea, who is sitting up there, for working very long hours and to achieve perfection. Professor Len Shiaka and Raj from University of Melbourne, and a big thanks to Advanced Strategic Capability Accelerator for funding this program. But not least, my beautiful wife and son, thank you for your love and care throughout this journey. In closing, I dedicate this honor to my parents who teaching and inspiration always guide me to do best for the country and humanity at large. Thank you again for Australian Museum.
Kamal, Jafar, this is nationally important research. What kind of impact could these interference-resistant chips have on satellites, defence systems, even future space missions? What's so important about these chips?
This is very unique work which doesn't exist anywhere in commercial world, and you can't have this sort of capability at the moment. We have designed this chip in such a way it it tolerates to many different type of radiations, and it makes our systems, our defense systems, computers, and high-end systems much safer, and also the secure communication as well.
Congratulations, Dr. Gupta, Dr. Shajai, and thank you so much, Professor Tanya Munro, AC. Well, we are off and running on what promises to be an incredible night. I'm now going to hand over to the great Bernie Hobbs. Bernie, please come out and present the next slew of awards. Bernie Hobbs, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God. How beautiful have those first three been, the incredible heartfelt speeches. I'm loving it. So we're going to take a little bit of break from the emotional for a moment. We'll have our next award shortly, but before we do, it's my great pleasure to introduce a message from Senator the Honourable Tim Ayres, who's a man who knows how to deliver a short speech, let me tell you. The Minister for Industry and Innovation and Minister for Science. Unfortunately, the Minister couldn't be with us tonight, but he still wanted to share a few words.
Well, g'day. I want to acknowledge the Ngunnawal people, the traditional custodians of the land from where I'm speaking at Federal Parliament, which is, of course, meeting this week. I'm very sorry that I can't be there with you in person for tonight's presentations on what looks like it's going to be a wonderful night for all of you and for Australian science. But I would like to thank the Australian Museum for the opportunity to share this short message with you instead. This year marks the 35th anniversary of the Eureka Prizes. These prizes are so important for celebrating Australian achievement and ingenuity in science. Robin Williams, who first proposed the idea for them, says that the federal government, the CSIRO and science advocates came together to create a prize that was truly famous, national and credible. It was a typically inspired idea from someone whose own honorary Eureka Prize in the year 2000 was so well deserved. The Eureka Honour Boards include names like Paul Davies, Veena Sahajawala, Rick Shine, Phil Bland and Corey Tutt. The first three names will probably be familiar to you, the latter two perhaps less so. I mentioned Phil and Corey for a reason. The Citizen Science and STEM Inclusion prizes that they won in 2016 and 2021 respectively was supported by my department's Inspiring Australia Science Engagement program. It's an example of the Australian government's ambition to engage all Australians with science. That has to begin with the awakening of young minds to the wonders and possibility of science. I know there was plenty of that happening in this year's record-breaking National Science Week. I want to encourage more secondary school students, especially girls at school and other underrepresented cohorts, to study STEM subjects and to consider science and technology careers. Fostering greater scientific literacy and awareness in the community and wonder at science is another vital strand of our national science engagement efforts. Citizen science plays a powerful role here, offering the dual benefit of promoting science literacy and contributing meaningfully to national research programs. We all benefit from a deeper understanding of the natural world because it helps us make well-informed decisions, individually and collectively, about our environment and our planet. Through recognising research and innovation, leadership, engagement and education, the Eureka Prizes have undoubtedly earned the right to be considered famous, national and credible. I want to congratulate everyone shortlisted for tonight's awards. Your commitment to scientific endeavour and problem solving makes Australia stronger, smarter and better prepared for the future. Good luck tonight. Have a terrific night.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Minister. If there is one audience who are thrilled to hear that the government's placing science at the forefront of our industrial transformation, it has to be this one here in the room and those watching online at home. And it is a terrible shame that the Minister couldn't be with us tonight. If only there were a fast train between Canberra and Sydney, but oh well, that's a matter for another night. On to our next award of the evening, and that is the Department of Industry, Science and Resources Eureka Prize for STEM inclusion. So this prize is awarded for an initiative that's led to greater inclusion in science, technology, engineering and mathematics in the Australian community. And now, to open the envelope and reveal the winner, would you please welcome the Executive Director of Questacon, Jo White. And while Jo makes her way to the stage, here are the finalists.
Elevate, Boosting Diversity in STEM program, Australian Academy of Technological Sciences and Engineering, a tertiary scholarship program for over 500 women and non-binary people. iSTEM Co, supporting women in gaining STEM jobs and building careers. Science and Engineering Challenge, the University of Newcastle, delivering STEM outreach events to rural, remote and disadvantaged students.
All right, absolute pleasure to be here. And the winner of the 2025 Department of Industry, Science and Resources Eureka Prize for STEM inclusion is Science and Engineering Challenge. Congratulations.
Please welcome the group to the stage. Woo.
The challenge has been running for over 20 years now. It's engaged with hundreds of thousands of students, and it has from the very start had a key goal in changing the misconceptions that students have about science and engineering. And we have positive statistics that show that it impacts on their decisions to do physics, chemistry and mathematics in Year 11 and 12, which keeps their options open for university.
Woo! Yes, it is compulsory to bring the entire team each time an award is announced. Yep, absolutely. Phew. Beautiful.
Wow. Let me first say congratulations to the other participants in this area, because they're all great projects. This is a great honour for the challenge, and it comes in a special year for us. This is the 25th anniversary of the Science and Engineering Challenge. It's a program that's been enabled by the community of supporters we have that started out in the first place by the Rotary, Engineers Australia and the University of Newcastle. It expanded with further, as we expanded across the country, it incorporated the various sponsors, the universities, over 30 universities in Australia, government bodies, and thousands, tens of thousands of volunteers. The program has been achieved at the level of excellence and the results because it has at its core a team of absolutely outstanding science communicators.
Woo!
They're here behind me. They will continue to deliver this, I know. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. And John, while we've got you there, this is not the only program that's striving to engage disadvantaged students, but what is it about the Science and Engineering Challenge that you think makes the difference or tips you over the edge, makes you special?
We've targeted from the start, while we actually address a broad range of age groups, we've targeted from the start the students in Year 10 to change their misconceptions about what a career in science and engineering is about, to encourage them to stay with physics, chemistry and advanced mathematics in Year 11 and 12 to keep their options open. So that's our main goal. It's proven to be successful not only for them to do that, but then to go on to university and to become scientists and engineers.
Beautiful. Congratulations to the team. Happy 25th birthday, Science and Engineering Challenge. And Joe, if you could not get carried away with the moment and stay with us to present the next award, that would be great as well. Our next prize is the 2025 Eureka Prize for Innovation in Citizen Science. This prize is awarded for outstanding citizen science practice in Australia through an innovative research and community engagement project. And here are the finalists.
Miyawaki Forest Outreach Program, Murdoch University, in which school students planned and study small, fast-growing forests. Passport to Recovery, Flinders University, in which tourists aid 12 different research projects on Kangaroo Island. Sunshine Coast Marine BioBlitz. Sunshine Coast Council, University of the Sunshine Coast and project partners for a wide-ranging marine survey of the Sunshine Coast UNESCO biosphere.
Congratulations to all of our finalists. And so, the winner of the 2025 Department of Industry, Science and Resources Eureka Prize for Innovation in Citizen Science is Passport to Recovery.
Woo!
Congratulations.
Please welcome Professor Karen Burke de Silva to the stage.
When the devastating Black Summer bushfires tore through Kangaroo Island, a world-renowned place of natural beauty was decimated. Researchers have empowered tourists to act as citizen scientists to monitor the recovery process. Passport to Recovery is a collection of 12 linked projects, from supporting koalas, tracking native bees, and monitoring soil health, to assessing endangered sea lions and reviving a native oyster reef. This program allows tourists to play a role in restoration and develop scientific knowledge at the same time.
Beautiful.
We are really thrilled to accept this award and for the recognition that it brings to citizen science and to Kangaroo Island. This program has harnessed the energy of tourists, students, industry partners, and the community, showing what is possible when the power of people aids in scientific discovery. We would like to thank all of our team members and collaborators, as without them, this insanely big project would never have happened. Kangaroo Island is recovering from the 2020 bushfires, so I encourage all of you to come out and see it. Finally, I'd like to thank our partners because they've put up with a lot of our time being missing, and I in particular like to thank Anthony for helping me follow my dreams.
Fantastic. Thanks, Karen. If you can stay for just a moment. You mentioned the different groups of people who are involved in the project, but you've also got 12 research programs involved in one website and app. How do they interact to help build an overall picture of Kangaroo Island's recovery?
So the 12 projects span across the whole entire island. So tourists, as they come onto the island and move around the island, are able to pick up different projects in different places. And depending on what their interests are, they might be able to look at animals or work at microplastics on the beach or a variety of different activities.
Beautiful, I love it. Let's not just get the tourist dollars, let's get their data and their science as well. Give it up, please, again. Thank you, Joe, and congratulations to Passport to Recovery. Our next prize of the evening is the 2025 Eureka Prize for the Societal Impact in Science. This prize is awarded to individuals or teams who, through partnership with industry, government or not-for-profit, have transformed their scientific research into practical solutions that address pressing global societal challenges. To announce the inaugural winner, please welcome the Dean of the Faculty of the Science at UNSW, Scientia Professor Sven Rogger, and Sven, and here are the finalists.
Professor Thomas Maschmeyer, the University of Sydney, who developed technology that converts waste plastic and biomass into fuel. The Mindset Team, La Trobe University and National Ageing Research Institute, for improving dementia diagnosis for diverse communities through specialised interpreter training. Professor Robert Park, the University of Sydney, for transforming cereal rust control to protect global food security.
Sven.
Thank you, Bernie. Good evening. What an exciting night. UNSW is proud to partner with the Australian Museum to bring you the inaugural Eureka Prize for the Societal Impact of Science. And the first winner of this award is... Woo! Hard work. It's well sealed.
Yeah.
Here we go. Professor Thomas Maschmeyer.
Woo!
Our CAT HDR technology transforms waste. Using sub- and supercritical water, very hot steam, and a very high pressure, it breaks down fibrous biomass waste and used plastics. This physically converts them into stable oils for biofuels and new plastics, cutting emissions by up to 80%. With global commercial partners, we are creating sustainable aviation fuels and a cleaner future with circular plastics. Science can solve our biggest challenges. Let's turn waste into an opportunity.
Woo! Let's keep that applause going. Even though he can't hear it, because unfortunately for us, Professor Maschmeyer is in Norway at the moment presenting his work at a conference to the world stage, but he has sent this message through to us.
Greetings from the Europa CAT conference in Oslo. I'm greatly honored to have received the Eureka Prize for Societal Impact. The translation of fundamental laboratory results into global businesses is hard. However, it is also an extremely rewarding and exhilarating journey. It has been an absolute privilege to work with all the teams that have made this possible. I thank them very much. But work is nothing without family and friends, and I would like to thank them for their love and support over the years.
Woo! And that is what 30 seconds looks like. Beautiful work. Congratulations, Thomas, and thanks very much again, Sven, for the award and your presentation of it. Now, our next prize of the evening is the 2025 Eureka Prize for Scientific Research. This prize is awarded for outstanding, curiosity-driven scientific research. Would you please join me in welcoming the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Research and Enterprise from UNSW, Professor Bronwyn Fox AO, to announce the winner. And while she makes her way, here are the finalists.
CO2 Concrete, Western Sydney University. Transforming waste into stronger, greener concrete with industry-ready carbon technology. Scientia Professor Xiaojing Hao, University of New South Wales, for record solar cell efficiency and tools to reduce energy loss. Pink One Parkinson's Disease Research Team, WeHi, mapping a key protein structure to guide new Parkinson's disease therapies.
Congratulations to all of the nominees. The winner of the 2025 UNSW Eureka Prize for Scientific Research is...
Obviously, this middle section is much better sealed than the earlier awards, which just opened seamlessly.
The winner is the Pink One Parkinson's Disease Research Team.
Please welcome David Commander to the stage.
Parkinson's disease is the world's fastest growing neurodegenerative condition. For decades, we knew that PINK1 is a key protein in Parkinson's, but we did not know how it worked.
We discovered what human PINK1 looks like, how it attaches to damaged mitochondria, the powerhouses of our cells, and how it tells the body to recycle them. Parkinson's has no cure, but our findings are already helping labs across the world to change that.
Oh my God, this is huge. Thank you so much. I really didn't expect this. I don't know how anybody can choose between climate change solutions, solar panel efficiency, and medical research. This is absolutely crazy task, so let's acknowledge that.
Don't question the judges at this stage, is my advice.
I'm not questioning, I'm grateful. I'm very, very grateful. I would like to thank the many, many people that have contributed to this work. Science is a team effort, and people at the Walter and Eliza Hall Institute, the Bio21 Ian Holmes Imaging Center, the Australian Synchrotron, and the Rehigh Parkinson's Disease Research Center. So it's a PD research center. We work with people that live with Parkinson's disease every day, and they motivate us to do what we're doing, which is trying to find a cure for Parkinson's disease. And, you know, this is hopefully a step in the right direction. We are also grateful to receive funding from the NHMRC, Shake It Up Australia, the Michael J. Fox Foundation, and the Parkinson's Research Foundation, and we hope that they continue to fund our research as well. Thank you very much.
Oh, congratulations. And before you leave the microphone, David, I mean, it would absolutely be incredible to slow or even one day cure Parkinson's, the progression of Parkinson's. Why is understanding the structure of the PINK1 protein such an important step in Parkinson's disease research?
So look, for 20 years, we knew that people that have a mutation in PINK1, it's not a question whether they get Parkinson's disease, but when do they get Parkinson's disease. So these are these very early patients that have Parkinson's disease at 20 or 30 years of age, and nobody wants that diagnosis, okay? So what Sylvie and Nick and Alisa and Song have provided is this picture, the first time that we understand what PINK1 looks like, and now that is the key to really understand how it works, and once we can understand how it works, we can try to fix it.
Fantastic work. And I want to put out an extra plug for the theme dressing of Team PINK1. And I like that they've gone post-Barbie. You know, it's more of a nice dusty pink rather than that hot fuchsia of a couple of years ago. Congratulations to the PINK1 team. And thank you, Professor Bronwyn-Fox. Well done. Our next prize of the evening is the 2025 Eureka Prize for Infectious Diseases Research. And this prize is awarded for outstanding infectious diseases research that benefits or has the potential to benefit human health. To announce the winner, I'm delighted to welcome Executive Dean of the Faculty of Science at the University of Queensland, Professor Melissa Brown. And here are the finalists.
Beating Buruli Ulcer Group, Doherty Institute, University of Melbourne, for solving the mystery of how Buruli spreads to humans. Vaccines and Infectious Diseases Group, the University of Adelaide, SA Pathology, Department for Health and Wellbeing, SA Health, Women's and Children's Hospital and Northern Territory Health, for demonstrating that one vaccine protects against meningococcal B and gonorrhea. VQuin Trial, the University of Sydney, Sydney Vietnam Institute, National Lung Hospital Vietnam, Sydney Infectious Diseases Institute, the Burnett Institute and University of Melbourne, which reduced drug-resistant tuberculosis by 60% using preventative antibiotics.
The winner of the 2025 Australian Infectious Diseases Research Centre Eureka Prize for Infectious Disease Research is Vaccines and Infectious Diseases Group.
Woo! Accepting the award on behalf of the team is Professor Helen Marshall, AM.
Our collaborative group showed for the first time that meningococcal B vaccine was highly effective in preventing meningococcal disease in adolescents, while also providing cross-protection against gonorrhea. These landmark findings support targeted meningococcal B immunisation programs for high-risk groups and present the first real opportunity to reduce gonorrhea globally. These findings have influenced global immunisation policy and offer hope for improved protection in high-risk and First Nations communities.
Oh, congratulations. And this is a team who knows to pick up a bit of slack when we're running a bit behind on the run sheet. No, they just get straight up those stairs. They don't wait for an invitation. Well done after that incredible hard work, the Vaccines and Infectious Diseases group. Beautiful. Fantastic. Thank you. Congratulations. Professor Helen Marshall to speak.
I'd just like to first acknowledge we're on Gadigal land, and on behalf of the Vaccines and Infectious Diseases team, we are truly honoured and so excited to have been awarded the Eureka Prize for Infectious Disease. Thank you for my team members who you see here, Mark McMillan, Bing Wang, Andrew Lawrence, Vicky Krause, and Louise Flood for your valued partnership, and especially to Professor James Ward, an incredible, inspiring Aboriginal leader and researcher who nominated us. It's been an absolute joy to work with the University of Adelaide, the Women's and Children's Health Network, SA Pathology, and our government partners, SA Health and NT Health. Together we are advocating for change to improve the health of Aboriginal young people. I'll be adding this award recognition to our letter to the ATAGI requesting a national meningococcal B vaccine program for Aboriginal young people based on our evidence. So on behalf of the team, thank you to the Eureka Awards team and the Australian Museum for choosing us, and to our families for supporting us along this incredible journey. Thank you.
Fantastic. Don't go anywhere, Helen. Don't go anywhere. So, how does a single vaccine work to protect against both meningococcal B and gonorrhoea? What was the overlap?
Great question. So they're both the meningococcus and the gonococcus are part of the same bacterial family, the Neisseria family. They share about 90% of their genetic makeup, have 90% genetic homology. And so we know that when you vaccinate, you develop antibodies that recognise and cross-protect against the gonococcus.
Fantastic. And you've mentioned the work you've done with elders and First Nations communities. So what do you hope the impact will be of this vaccine?
Yeah, so I'm really hoping, as I said, that we will have a national program, policy for a national program for First Nations young people to receive the meningococcal B vaccine free. At the moment, infants do to protect them against meningococcal B disease because of the higher rates of disease in Aboriginal infants. But this offers an opportunity to close the gap for Aboriginal young people to provide protection against both diseases.
Fantastic, and congratulations once again.
Thanks so much. Thank
you and the team. And thanks very much, Professor Melissa Brown. I feel like it's about time for a bit of a changing of the baton here. We're about to have a little bit of fun, a little bit of chaos, and the return of Adam Spencer. Spence.
Well, thank you so much, Bernie. Chaos and fun, my two skills finally being acknowledged. Our next prize is the 2025 Eureka Prize for Sustainability Research, awarded to research that has directly contributed to a new or improved sustainability outcomes. To announce the winner, I'm delighted to welcome the Dean of the Faculty of Science at the University of Sydney, Professor Marcel Dinger, to the stage. Let's meet our finalists.
Professor Anita Ho-Bailey, the University of Sydney, for a giant leap forward in creating more efficient solar cells. Professor Alex McBratney, the University of Sydney, for creating new smart tools that aid soil health, productivity and sustainability. Professor Yang Song Shen, University of New South Wales, for developing a low-cost complete recycling system for solar panels.
And the winner is of the 2025 University of Sydney Eureka Prize for Sustainability Research is, no conflicts of interest to declare, Professor Anita Ho-Bailey from the University of Sydney.
Solar energy production is evolving through the use of metal halide perovskites. They're easy to produce and can be printed on many surfaces. Traditionally, perovskites were easily damaged by heat and moisture, but our breakthroughs enable perovskite cells to surpass industry standards. Used in tandem with silicon, multi-layer perovskites can double the power generated. Creating commercially viable, durable perovskite cells takes us closer to a carbon-free future.
Yes, we've clearly got some Professor Ho Bailey fans in the house. Give her another round of applause.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy with the 30-second time limit because it's good for my phone memory. I'd like to thank David and Sarah, my husband and daughter. Thank you, God, for making you for who you are and cheering me on. I'd like to thank the University of Sydney. There's quite a few number of tables there, you know, having a great time. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you, all of you who've been, you know, there cheering me on, and also a lot of the help that you have provided. And also I'd like to congratulate Yang Song and Alex as well. You're doing equally impactful research, and it's great to be amongst your wonderful researchers in Australia. And I had a cracking good time too doing an interview with SBS in Cantonese, so I would like to show off to my mum and dad. 多謝爸爸媽咪, and thank you very much.
Anita. Now, Anita, everyone loves a good solar cell, but as we adopt them more and more and climate becomes more of an issue, we've got to get the most we possibly can out of them. You talked about thermal and moisture instability. What is that? Why was it a challenge, and why is that sort of stuff important to overcome in solar cells?
Yeah, because I'm working on a sort of new emerging materials. They are giving really good power conversion efficiencies, but some of the problems with them is they're not very stable when they're exposed to light and heat, and also moisture. So what we're doing is we're using chemical analysis to look at how these materials behave when they're exposed to stimuli. And then once we understand how they behave, we can find out protection mechanisms to protect them and also to stop them from degrading.
Well, congratulations, Anita. All power to you. Boom, boom. Professor Anita Ho Bailey. Marcel is staying on stage because it's time now for a crowd favourite moment of the night. We're going to celebrate some of the best up-and-coming minds. It's time for our Sleek Geek Awards for 2025. Let's welcome to the stage the original Sleek Geek himself from the University of Sydney, Dr. Karl Kruszelnicki. This man is a legend of Australian science and science communication in his 45th year on Triple J and the current New South Wales Senior Australian of the Year. Here on stage was to celebrate not just any year, but 20 years of the Sleek Geeks Prize. For 2 decades now, the Sleek Geek School Eureka Prize has been inspiring school students across Australia to show us that science isn't just found in textbooks or in labs, it's everywhere around us and can be incorporated by the spark of imagination. We asked them to create a short film capturing some scientific concept. This year, Above and Below was the theme, and we got everything from space junk orbiting high above to the hidden intelligence of fungi underneath our feet and everything in between. An amazing effort by young filmmakers whose work was so strong, the judges initially listed the almost hundreds submissions down to 25 as a highly commended list, and then had a very tough gig in front of them. So how about a huge round of applause to all the incredible young thinkers and students who've carried the Sleek Geek torch for the last 20 years. And let's get into the Sleek Geek Science Eureka Prize for primary school. A quick note to our Sleek Geek finalists: if your name is called tonight, once you've collected your award, return to your table and celebrate with your family and friends. During the dinner break, our team will come and whisk you away for an official photo on the media wall. Let's meet our Science Eureka Prize primary school finalists. They say never work with children, animals or deans of science, but I'm confident we've got this. Ready to go now.
This ammonite is 500 million years old, even older than the Sleek Geeks.
Fascinating stuff. but all that centripetal force has made me a bit dizzy.
The winners of the 2020 University of Sydney Sleek Geeks Scarlet Possum and Scarlet O'Neill.
We all hear it, but what does it do? Well, let's find out.
Were you surprised by what you found?
Yes, I was very surprised. What's happening? Why are the waves taking away my house? And remember, kids, don't try this at home without an adult.
A group of talented young kids coming together to remind us that when we were their ages, we were doing absolutely nothing compared to what they are.
Kira Peng, PLC, Sydney, for her film about dust mites, including an experiment on preventative bed sheets. Barnaby Yu, Varsity College, for his lively film about layers below and above the Earth's surface. Meredith Zeng, Abbotsleigh, for her informative film about animal habitats and environmental adaptations.
Oh gosh. Okay. So, I feel almost a little nervous reading these out myself now, so here we go, because they were amazing, so we saw all the finalists. So the runners-up in the 2025 University of Sydney Sleek Geeks Science Eureka Prize Primary are Barnaby Yu from Varsity College and Meredith Zheng from Abbotsleigh.
If Barnaby and Meredith can make their way to the stage, we have a presentation. Barnaby and Meredith, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Barnaby Yu and Meredith Zheng. The suspense is killing me, Professor Dinger.
And the winner of the 2025 University of Sydney Sleek Geeks Science Eureka Prize Primary is Kira Peng from PLC Sydney.
As Kira makes her way to the stage, let's sample a short snippet from her amazing film.
Ever wondered what's hiding below your covers? Dust mites. We need to keep them out, especially their poo. Reporting live from below a news channel. Why do dust mites live below my covers? I love it here because it's warm, humid, and when I'm hungry, there's lots of yummy dead skin to eat. But I'm allergic to dust mites. The Recount 500 can block out dust mite poo and let air through.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Kira. Two big questions. So there's millions of these critters living on our flesh. I'm guessing like me. First question, were you worried by, oh my God, there's all these yucky things, and did people say that to you? And the second really important question, there's millions of these eight-legged creatures. Where do they get their shoes from?
What was the first question?
I don't feel yucky about these little things on up my skin. Do you feel that they're yucky, or do you think they're just part of your normal life making you healthy?
I feel like they're yucky.
Right, and your family, do they think they're yucky?
Yeah.
Okay, where do they get their 20 million shoes from?
I think they get it because they're arachnids. They're a cousin of a spider. I think they get their legs from a spider.
Right on, you heard it from the mouth of babes.
Congratulations, Kira. Fantastic. 3 young scientists of the future, Kira, Barnaby and Meredith. Sincere congratulations. Let's move now on to the prize for secondary school students. It's an honour to have so many finalists and families in the room with us tonight. Some of whom have travelled all the way from Victoria to be here. Our secondary school finalists have shown remarkable imagination and skill. Tonight we celebrate their achievements and the bright future they represent for science and discovery. Let's meet our secondary school finalists.
Aidan Can, Page 2, Noah Cotton, Madeline Zelinka and Talia White, Viewbank College, for their film showing how trees use roots and chemicals to communicate. Grace Oborn, Jackie Zaslavsky and Daisy Graham, Lauriston Girls School, exploring how fungi communicate and support trees through underground networks. Sophie McCormack, St Philip's Christian College, for her film explaining how the Taipei 101 skyscraper withstands earthquakes.
Okay. All right. The runners-up in the 2025 University of Sydney Sleek Geeks Science Eureka Prize secondary are Viewbank College and Lauriston Girls School.
Congratulations to our runners-up.
Okay. Right then, the moment we've all been waiting for. So, the winner of the 2025 University of Sydney Sleek Geeks Science Eureka Prize secondary is Sophie McCormack. Congratulations.
Earthquake! Oh no, I'm in a skyscraper. Wait, this building was built to withstand earthquakes. How does that work? And thank you, science. Taipei 101 is a 508-meter tall building that uses the fascinating technology of a single ball pendulum two-mass damper, or TMD, which is located on the 88th through to the 92nd floor. It weighs 730 tons. This TMD is used to reduce the building's amplitude of oscillation that is caused by earthquakes or strong wind. This system works like a negative feedback loop, ensuring that this mechanism is continuously adjusting in response to environmental factors. While the TMD can't completely prevent the movement of the building, it can certainly make a difference.
Congratulations, Sophie McCormack.
So, Sophie, in your video, you explain with such elegance how there's little fluid flowing through little holes, and that acts as like a sort of a natural damper. And when I saw your video, I thought, I've always wondered how that happened. How did you come across that idea?
Well, the theme was above and below, and I immediately thought of earthquakes. And then I saw this quote from Roger Muson, and it said that earthquakes don't kill people, the buildings do. So then I went down a rabbit hole of techniques and engineering that prevents collapse of buildings.
Because I would have thought, you know, a rubber band or people pushing it, and you found the key thing. Did you feel sort of something go in your mind going, that's so simple and elegant?
It was crazy. I had no idea what it was before.
Thank you for blowing my mind and everybody else's. Big it up for Dr. Sophie.
Oh. Congratulations, Sophie. Isn't it fantastic to know in 2025 you can still go down a rabbit hole, do your own research, and come away with some top quality science? Congratulations again, you've won yourself a Eureka Prize. All of our Sleek Geek finals tonight win an Abby's Bookshop Prize as well, so thanks for Abby's for supporting and inspiring the scientists of tomorrow. You can catch all of those films along with all the highly commendeds on the Australian Museum YouTube channel. Have a look. They are beautiful pieces of popular science film making. We're going to take a short break now and then recommence proceedings soon. Take this time to enjoy your mains, reconnect with old friends, make some new ones and celebrate tonight's winners. Please make sure it's a very crowded room. As the staff here try and serve our tables, please make sure they've got access to the tables. If you see them near your table, clear out, let them get there so they can serve dinner, while the Sydney Ensemble, Dimitri and James on violin, Phoebe on viola, and Nasli on cello, entertain us. If you're online, we'll give you a 5-minute countdown before we're back. We'll see you soon.
Please take your seats. The 2025 Australian Museum Eureka Prizes are about to recommence. please take your seats? The 2025 Australian Museum Eureka Prizes are about to recommence. Welcome back to the 2025 Australian Museum Eureka Prizes. Would you please welcome to the stage Bernie Hobbs.
Hello, hello, and welcome back to the second half of the 2025 Australian Museum Eureka Prizes. I know some of you are very keen to continue these conversations. We'll have a moment towards the end, but for now, I'm looking at you, Table 1, I'm looking at you, Table 9. Up the back, extremely well coordinated and behaved. Thank you very much. If you can make your way to your seats, that would be absolutely brilliant. We've got a jam-packed itinerary for the second half. I'm just interpreting that conversation there. And then I said, and then he said, but she said, and then I wasn't, but I was all over like, yeah, you guys, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for bringing your attention back to tonight's main story, the Australian Museum Eureka Prizes. Really hope dinner hit the spot. If you are sharing tonight on the socials, like the social media socials, please keep the posts coming with hashtag Eureka Prizes. If, like me, as is pretty obvious by now, you're not on the socials, just do what I do and clap loud and hard every time you hear something great. Now, let's kick off the second half with the presentation of the 2025 Australian Museum Research Institute Medal. Very soon we're going to hear from the Australian Museum's Acting Chief Scientist, Shane Ayong. But before he takes to the stage, let's learn a bit more about AMRI.
Our planet is the only place in the entire universe we know to harbour life.
The science is clear. Our natural world is in the midst of a biodiversity crisis.
Natural history museums like the Australian Museum are doing science to find the solutions.
The collections, containing over 22 million objects, help unlock decades-old mysteries.
Citizen science contributions are accelerating our knowledge.
We need to care for and conserve what we have.
Scientists at the Australian Museum Lizard Island Research Station are at the forefront.
Wildlife genomics is a critical tool to combat species loss.
Climate solutions offer a pathway to resilience from the outback to the cities.
They're understanding and responding to challenges facing our planet.
Woo!
Good evening, everyone. I am very pleased to be here tonight to represent the Australian Museum Research Institute, AMRI, where I agree, science is our superpower. I'm incredibly proud of AMRI for everything we've achieved, and I'm so excited for what the future holds. AMRI is a trusted global leader in scientific research, collections care, and public engagement. Every one of our staff, associates, fellows, students, volunteers, and citizen scientists contributes to the world, to this world-leading work. Some highlights include from this past year, 243 peer-reviewed publications. Yeah. 297 species new to science. And that's double that number described in 23-24. And a major scientific expedition to Norfolk Island. Our people and research have truly made a mark. Our core aim of AMRI is to advance public understanding of science and help document and protect biodiversity in our backyard and beyond. This year, AMRI scientists and associates have shone a light on iconic Australian species, including our beloved Sydney funnel web spider. The funnel web was previously thought to range across the Hunter, Sydney and Illawarra regions, but Dr. Helen Smith and colleagues showed it's in fact 3 separate species, each with distinctive ecologies. We'll wait to see about the venom as well. Also this year, Dr. Amy Way worked with First Nations specialists to unearth 693 stone artefacts dating from the last ice age. These remarkable items were found in an ancient Blue Mountains cave known as the Dargan Shelter, which is now believed to be the oldest known site of human activity at high elevation on the Australian continent. There is also, yes, make some noise for that. It's remarkable. There's also Ferroaspis broxi, a 15-million-year-old fossilised freshwater fish discovered by our curator of paleontology, Dr. Matt McCurry. It's the oldest known of its lineage from Australia. Yes. The AM curator of ichthyology, Dr. Yi Kai Tia, led a team of researchers to document fishes from little-known mesophotic depths of Australia's Coral Sea Marine Park. This work uncovered 62 new records of fishes. 45 of these are first records for Australia and 4 are first records for the Southern Hemisphere. Now, several AMRI scientists also formed part of a research group documenting how biodiversity responds to fire, in particular the 2019-2020 megafires, published in Nature. This is just a snippet of the ongoing research and discovery happening in AMRI. The team at AMRI also underpins the knowledge and content contained in the Australian Museum's award-winning exhibitions and international collaborations. This includes specialists from the Collections Care and Conservation Group who work to maintain the integrity of specimens and objects across the Australian Museum. There is also the AM's Pacifica Taui project, led by our outstanding colleagues in the First Nations team. This pilot program, supported partially by the US Embassy in Australia, aims to build capacity for cultural revitalisation and preservation across the Pacific region. Heather Bleachmore, who heads the Collection Care and Conservation Group, travelled with First Nations teams to work with colleagues across the Pacific and key cultural institutions. She helped share AM expertise, assist with practical approaches, and learn from cultural knowledge holders. We are very proud of this work. Exciting work is coming out of the Australian Centre for Wildlife Genomics. Vital DNA programs include the Shellbank Initiative, combating the illegal global trade in marine turtles, the Australian Avian Genomics Initiative, focusing on conserving Australia's unique bird fauna, and the Bird Strike program, which works with state and federal agencies and the aviation industry to mitigate aircraft bird strikes. However, that's not all we do. AMRI is also home to the Collection Enhancement Project. It's an ambitious 10-year digitisation program which achieved a significant milestone this year with over 110,000 records registered, utilising cutting-edge approaches including 3D modelling, CT scanning, X-ray analysis, and more. And now, in its 4th year, the Australian Climate Solutions Centre is established as a trusted source of information that broadens public understanding of climate and biodiversity. Yeah. And recent successes of the Climate Solutions Centre include the popular Future Now exhibition and this year's sold-out tablet oration by the Honourable Matt Keane, Chair of the Climate Change Authority. Now, of course, AMRI science is not only undertaken at the AM. I'd like to highlight the critical contribution of citizen scientists and express my gratitude to the exceptional 130,000 people who've engaged and supported our projects. Our volunteers make significant daily contributions. You may have heard of Frog ID, led by the wonderful Dr. Jodie Rowley, now in its 8th year, celebrated 1.3 million recordings of frog calls this year. Digivol volunteers, online and on-site. This group transcribed more than 3.7 million tasks across 45 institutions worldwide. And the Australasian Fishers Project, which brings together international fish enthusiasts who've added 86,000 new observations of fishes this year. Yeah. 2025 has been a year of change. After 35 years of service, we bid a fond farewell to outgoing Australian Museum Lizard Island Research Station co-directors, Drs. Anne Hoggett and Lyle Vale. Yeah. But we also welcome new co-directors, Drs. Emily Howells and David Abrego. Yeah. And of course, we've also seen a leadership transition for AMRI. Now, we very much acknowledge the work and contributions of former Chief Scientist, Professor Chris Helgen, who was appointed as President and CEO of the Bishop Museum in Hawaii earlier this year. Therefore, it's an honour and privilege to step into the role of Chief Scientist and a privilege to work alongside my brilliant colleague, Julie Elmers, who has stepped in as Director of AMRI. Australian Museum Director and CEO Kim McKay must be thanked for her strong advocacy for all that we do, alongside Australian Museum Trust President Brian Hartzer. Thank you also to all our valued partners and colleagues across the sector. Finally, congratulations to all entrants to the Eurekas. It's a pleasure to see your work celebrated.
Yeah.
I sincerely thank you for joining us this evening and sharing in the endeavour that is science. AMRI will continue to provide and inspire generations of curious, passionate and innovative future scientists. Thank you. I'll now hand over to Professor Kathy Belov, AO, Australian Museum Trustee, Chair of the Australian Museum Science Advisory Board, Professor of Comparative Genomics at the University of Sydney, among other many achievements. Welcome, Kathy. We can't wait to hear who will receive this year's Amory Medal.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight I have the honour of presenting the Amory Medal, awarded to an outstanding Amory staff member, senior fellow or team for exceptional scientific research. This year's recipient is the remarkable Dr. Chris Reid, a leading entomologist. Chris is a leading entomologist whose career has transformed our understanding of beetle taxonomy. Chris's passion for natural sciences began in a small town near Belfast, Ireland. At just 12, he was volunteering at his local museum. Today, he's a cornerstone of the Australian Museum, our most senior entomologist, with 35 years of expertise and stewardship over the museum's largest collection, entomology. Chris is Australia's sole expert on leaf beetles, with deep knowledge of over 3,200 described species across Australia, the West Pacific, Indonesia, and Europe. He's also a key contributor to multidisciplinary projects, bringing specialist insights wherever beetles are involved. His work on scarab beetles has captured public imagination, from raising awareness of the iconic Christmas beetle through a citizen science app and through appearances on Gardening Australia, to studying the impacts of bushfires on dung beetles in New South Wales. Chris's research spans the globe, from Papua New Guinea to Timor-Leste and Lord Howe Island. His expertise is sought by governments, universities, CSIRO and museums alike. He serves on the New South Wales Threatened Species Scientific Committee and advises biosecurity teams in Australia and New Zealand. Beyond research, Chris is deeply engaged with his community, writing for his local paper, helping protect Helensborough's glowworm tunnel, and publishing open access resources for amateur entomologists. For 26 years, Chris has shaped the Australian Museum, mentoring students, leading projects, and enriching our exhibitions. His dedication, curiosity, and generosity make him truly deserving of this honour. Congratulations, Chris.
Woo! Chris Reid.
I'm really honoured to receive this. I just want to say thank you very much. I'm just part of a team. I'm just an ordinary scientist at the Australian Museum, and I'd like to say any one of my fellow scientists could have, should have won this. The Australian Museum is a fantastic place to work. It always has been, and it still is. And I wish it all the very best for the next 200 years. It's a bit early to say that, but yeah. Thank you very much again. And thank you very much to the team behind me who've given me all that support. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks, Chris. Stay there for a moment. No prize without a Q&A, I'm afraid. So you've devoted a large part of your life to some of the smallest creatures on the planet. What was it that first drew you to beetles and the world of the tiny?
It's actually, I was more interested in flies.
I think we all were.
But when I went to secondary school, I discovered that there was...
Chicks are into beetle guys.
There was a boy 3 years ahead of me who was already working on flies, and I didn't want to be seen to be copying him.
No.
So I
don't want to be a derivative.
Why not beetles? Yeah.
Yeah. So in all of the years you've been at the Australian Museum, how much, like it's got a massive entomology collection, how much have you been able to get through? Have you pretty much nailed it, covered the whole thing in all those years, or is there a bit still to go?
No, our collection manager, Giovanni, will tell you that there are still enormous messes anywhere close to me, so there's still a lot of work to do.
Okay, good. Well, don't go retiring anytime soon. Give it up for this year's Emery Medal recipient, Dr. Chris Reid. And thank you so much, Kathy, for the presentation. Our next prize for this evening, shifting back into Eureka mode, is the 2025 Eureka Prize for Excellence in Forensic Science. This prize is awarded for an outcome inspired by outstanding forensic research that combines groundbreaking quality and significant societal or academic impact. To announce the first ever winner of this prize, please welcome the Director of the Centre for Forensic Science at the University of Technology, Sydney, Distinguished Professor Claude Roux. And here are the finalists.
Insight, innovation in substance use intelligence, guiding harm reduction through traces. University of Technology, Sydney. Uniting Sydney Medically Supervised Injecting Centre, New South Wales Ministry of Health and Australian Federal Police, for transforming how forensic science informs drug policy and public health responses. Associate Professor Helen Patterson, the University of Sydney, for her research into how memory shapes victim survivor testimonies. Towards a smart PCR process, Flinders University and Forensic Science SA, for their real-time DNA system that improves forensic evidence quality.
What a night. I feel really privileged to present the first ever Eureka Prize in Forensic Science. So the winner of the 2025 University of Technology Sydney and Australian Federal Police Eureka Prize for Excellence in Forensic Science is Towards a Smart PCR Process.
Accepting the award on behalf of the team is Professor Adrian Lineker, OAM.
I am Professor Adrian Lineker. Along with colleagues at Flinders University, we have produced a smart PCR machine. This uses real-time feedback and machine learning to generate DNA profiles from compromised, degraded samples that would otherwise not generate a result. This marks a significant advancement in forensic science, enabling faster, more reliable results, strengthening the role of DNA evidence in the criminal justice system.
Thank you. I'd just like to say I'm not Adrian Lineker. I'm Caitlin McDonald. And on behalf of our team tonight, I am incredibly honoured to accept the Prize for Innovation in Forensic Science, and the first of, I hope, many in the future. We sincerely thank the judges for this honour and want to recognise the other teams doing fantastic work in the field of forensic science as well. Our Smart PCR project was a true Eureka moment, fundamentally rethinking DNA analysis, moving poor samples towards better results, pushing the limits to deliver faster results and recover more difficult samples, ultimately bringing justice to families sooner. We're especially grateful to Flinders University, Forensic Science South Australia and the Attorney General's Department for their gracious funding, as well as our colleagues and families. And I'd especially like to thank the three guys behind me, Duncan, Adrian and Russell. This has been a fantastic project to work on and I'm incredibly grateful. Thank you.
Woo! Are you not going to stay for the Q&A? Yes, yes, yes. Work's not quite over. So you've almost already answered this. You've developed a DNA amplification system that lets you take low-grade samples to potentially give decent results. So what are your hopes, or what's the impact of this for forensic investigations?
So many of our samples currently produce no usable result. And what I mean by that is you can have a sample that is a trace sample, or even worse, it's a trace and degraded sample, or more common and even worse than that is a trace, degraded and inhibited sample. And these things we process and are really important for casework, but we often get no usable result. So what we're hoping with this is we're able to provide usable genetic data that can ultimately contribute to cases in a meaningful way.
Beautiful. And just for the vibes, how does it feel to be the inaugural winner?
Very cool.
It's a nice short answer. Congratulations. Towards a smart PCR process, congratulations. And Claude, no, we're from South Australia. We break the rules. We go down the stairs. We don't exit stage left. No, congratulations. Well done. Our next prize of the evening is the 2025 Eureka Prize for Outstanding Mentor of Researchers. This prize is awarded to an individual scientist who's helped develop the next generation of Australia's scientific researchers. To open the envelope and reveal the winner, please welcome Deputy Vice-Chancellor Research at the University of Technology, Sydney, Professor Kate McGrath, and please meet our winners. I beg your pardon, our finalists.
Professor Haryana Dillon, the University of Sydney, an award-winning, inspiring supervisor who makes mentoring a career priority. Associate Professor Karen Lamb, the University of Melbourne, who expanded mentoring programs for statisticians nationally and internationally. Professor Michael Milford, Queensland University of Technology, for mentoring thousands through one-on-one programs and his series Hacking Academia.
Hello everybody, huge kudos to our three finalists. The winner of the 2025 University of Technology Sydney Eureka Prize for Outstanding Mentor of Researchers is Professor Michael Milford.
Woo! Please welcome Professor Michael Milford to the stage. Yeah.
My career was made by amazing mentors, and mentoring is an activity that I've fallen in love with. My philosophy for mentoring is to customize it to the individual and ranges from one-on-one conversations to leading a major robotics research center, all the way to my globally impactful Hacking Academia initiative. Getting the chance to help people have successful and fulfilling careers is so incredibly fulfilling, and it's something that I love doing every single day.
Woo! Beautiful.
Oh my goodness, a huge honour and really humbling for me. Thank you so much to the Eurekas, the museum. Thank you so much to UTS as a sponsor of this category. A huge thank you to my university, QUT, to Anna, to Farouz, to Tobias, to Shoaib, and to Sue, and all those who helped support me along the way. 9 years ago, I was sitting in this very hall as one of the finalists in the early career researcher category. And by that stage in my career, it had already become really self-evident that the single biggest factor in my career to date were amazing mentors. And it was just a privilege to fall in love with mentoring over the years after that. And of course, mentoring didn't just touch my career, it touched the careers, I would argue, of just about everyone in this room. So here's to the Eurekas, here's to fabulous mentors, and thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thanks, Michael. And you're right, there are a sea of mentors here and in every university and institution, but most mentors are one-on-one. You've been able to reach thousands of people through videos and podcasts. What was it that gave you, was it the Eurekas?
We don't know the questions, just to clarify. My amazing head of school, Farouz, had a little bit of spare cash available at the end of the year. Right. And he said, if you don't spend it, you're gonna lose it. So I bought a little vlogging camera. I went down to the park and I shot one video on how to write a paper a little bit better. And now we're up to, I think, 63 videos and podcasts. So simple things, great outcome.
The end of financial year budget has been responsible for so many breakthroughs. Believe me, half the programming on the ABC was trialled out in that exact fashion to start with. Congratulations, Michael. Keep going and spreading in exponential fashion your mentoring largesse. And thank you so much, Kate, for presenting that. Congratulations. And with that, it's time to hand back over to my partner in science, Adam Spencer. Bring it on.
Well, thank you very much, Bernie. Yes, we only have 7 awards to go this evening. We're going to keep moving at pace, ladies and gentlemen. It's important we acknowledge these final 7 fantastic winners, but I know you're equally excited at the thought of some post-show networking and, of course, the famous Eureka Prize after party, which this year I can exclusively reveal is going to be held in the swimming pool bar, level 6 at Ivy. Just straight out, hop the light rail. You should be there in about 15 minutes. The DJ will be pumping some absolute bangers. I've already transitioned into the party shoes. Don't know about you. I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Our next prize of the evening is the 2025 Eureka Prize for Science Journalism. This prize is awarded to an Australian journalist or journalist team whose work is assessed at having the most effective communication of scientific issues directly to the public. To announce the winner, please welcome back to the stage Director and CEO of the Australian Museum, Kim McKay. And as Kim come forward, here are our finalists.
Tyne Logan and Ashley Kidd. Australian Broadcasting Corporation. An interactive online article about a global coral bleaching event. Maddie Massey, Margie Bryant, Tejas Bhatt and Henry Schwartz, for a series of 1-minute social media videos about gender discrimination in healthcare. Dr. Jackson Ryan, for his fearless reporting on scientific misconduct and misinformation.
Thank you so much, Adam. And by the way, just before I announce that, I love to keep journalists waiting. Isn't Adam Spencer and Bernie Hobbs, aren't they both doing the most incredible job tonight? Now, I'm incredibly proud that the Australian Museum supports this prize, one of the only awards for science journalism of its kind in Australia. Over the last few years, quality science journalism has taken on an ever-increasingly important role, the power to cut through the noise and misinformation in this post-truth world. The traditional pillars of journalism, or at least the ones I learned when I did communications at UTS 100 years ago, accuracy, independence, fairness, and accountability, have evolved from professional ideals to democratic necessities. At the Australian Museum, we have elevated the role of science communication as our discoveries and research across science and culture deserve widespread recognition, as do the major challenges facing our country and the globe, from climate change, impacts of biodiversity loss, urbanisation and waste. That's why we sponsor this prize. We have 3 finalists who you've seen, who should all be winners tonight. But of course, there is only one. And the winner of the 2025 Australian Museum Eureka Prize for Science Journalism is, and I have also ripped the envelope, Tyne Logan and Ashley Kidd.
Please welcome to the stage Tyne and Ashley.
Worldwide, our coral reefs are under threat. In 2024, that came to a head as NOAA officially declared a global mass bleaching event was underway for the 4th time in history. We take you on a journey around the globe to understand the extraordinary scale of what unfolded from Florida to Australia, to see what that looks like beneath the surface, and to properly understand what's causing it and what's at stake.
Wow, thank you so much. This is such an incredible honour. Honestly, I just feel really privileged to even be here amongst such company, and it's been a really incredibly inspiring night. Coral bleaching and the impacts of rising ocean temperatures are something that unfortunately is not a happy story to report on, but it is one that we know that is getting more frequent and more widespread because of climate change. So really being able to step people through what it takes for an event like this to happen was really important to us. I did want to give a really big shout out to my colleague Ash Kidd, who wasn't able to make it tonight, but who developed the incredible globe that you saw earlier, and also a shout out to the broader ABC Climate team and the Story Lab team, Tim Leslie, Fran Roomrod. They kind of quietly but crucially help in all the stories that we get off the ground. And of course, a big thank you to the scientists who have to take calls from me and field so many questions. They're incredibly patient with me. I ask potentially too many questions, but it certainly doesn't go unnoticed. So particularly Derek Manzello from NOAA's Coral Reef Watch, and Jez Roff and Maya Srinivasan, who were in this piece as well. So thank you very much.
Tyne, the piece we're celebrating here tonight, The Great Ocean Whiteout, was published on the day that the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration declared the world's 4th global coral bleaching event. Not a happy landmark, but why is it so important for you to bring a story like that to the world?
Well, I think, I mean, especially here in Australia, we have such an affinity with coral, I think, and this event, it was huge. Like, it wasn't just the Great Barrier Reef, it wasn't just, recently we've heard the Ningaloo Reef in Western Australia bleached simultaneously. This was all over the globe, and I think to be able to see how widespread that was and to really understand what's causing it was super important. And also, I guess, all the scientists that I interviewed really reiterated that even though it's a pretty dire situation, there is still hope, and so we wanted to get that across as well.
Congratulations to Tyne and Ashley, and thank you again so much, Kim. Just off the back of the award for science journalism, I should quickly mention, in the spirit of journalistic integrity, there is no after party at the Ivy. I just want to make that absolutely clear. I really don't want to open the Sydney Morning Herald tomorrow and read about some black-tied biologist shouting, "Don't you know who I am?" at 2 in the morning on George Street, so it won't be happening. Sorry about that. But we are moving on now to the next prize for the evening, the Eureka Prize for Emerging Leader in Science. This is where we acknowledge an individual scientist who's used their leadership skills to create impact within their discipline or more broadly. To present the award, please welcome to the stage Professor Emerita from Macquarie University, Leslie Hughes, and let's meet our finalists.
Dr. Aaron Eager, UNSW and Kelp Forest Alliance, driving global kelp restoration through science, policy and community leadership. Professor Gemma Sharp, Western Sydney University, improving care for people with eating disorders through digital tools and advocacy. Professor Jason Tribbiano, the Peter Doherty Institute for Infection and Immunity, University of Melbourne, improving antibiotic allergy diagnosis, treatment safety and prescribing practices globally.
And the winner of the
of the 2025 Eureka Prize for Emerging Leader in Science is Dr. Aaron Eger.
As Aaron makes his way to the stage, let's hear more about his work.
Kelp forests are vanishing at a frightening rate all over the world. These vibrant underwater jungles play a vital role in capturing carbon from the atmosphere. The Kelp Forest Alliance is working to create a global home for our kelp forests. We're providing the best available science. We're consulting with communities to understand how they need and interact with kelp forests. We're creating awareness, and we're building government support to really create this unified global effort to save these underwater ecosystems. All right. So when I tell people I work on kelp, they usually ask me two questions. First, if I've seen my octopus teacher, and second, what is kelp? And I usually answer, yes, I have. And then I also tell them kelp is really the fabric of our underwater world in the cold and temperate oceans that we love and live next to. So I really want to thank you all for recognizing this incredibly important, often unrecognized ecosystem and bringing that to light on the same stage as some incredible finalists in eating disorders and microbial resistance, and really elevating the importance of this for our ecosystems and our societies. And with that, I'd like to thank Adriana, my mom, my sister Rochelle, Emma, and all the wonderful people that have supported us in this really collaborative initiative to help elevate this often forgotten but majestic underwater ecosystem. Thank you.
Look, Aaron, well said, and I'm sure there are still some pockets of kelp ignorance in society, but I would say kelp science is so hot right now. I do think there's a much deeper and broader understanding than there was just a few years ago, and you've played a crucial role in that. Can you explain how you're not working alone? You've brought dozens of organisations around many countries together on this project. Explain the power of that strength in numbers.
So I've got some high-level stats for you. 1/3 of our coastlines, kelp forests, globally. Australia, 1/2 of the country, 2/3 of the population. So this means everybody's really connected to a kelp forest. And so we're trying to find ways to bring scientists, businesses, government, community, artists, educators, everyone who's connected to these ecosystems together, create that voice and push for that change for not just healthy kelp, but healthy oceans and healthy cultures.
And that's why he's an emerging leader in science. Congratulations, Aaron, and thank you so much, Leslie. We now move on to the Eureka Prize for Innovative Use of Technology. This is where we acknowledge an innovative application of a new or existing technology that's led to a significantly improved research outcome. So I'm honoured to invite the Group Executive of Nuclear Science and Technology from ANSTO, Dr. Andrew Peel, to the stage as we meet our finalists.
The Fission Chips team, Macquarie University, for developing a cheaper and more efficient nanosensor. Robert Godfrey and Nunzio Kinnair, CSIRO, for a revolutionary field data tool combining 360-degree cameras and machine learning. UNSW Nighttime Solar Team, University of New South Wales, for being the first to generate electricity from the emission of infrared light.
I must say it's a real pleasure to be presenting this award on behalf of ANSTO. And the winner of the 2025 ANSTO Eureka Prize for Innovative Use of Technology is the Fish and Chips team.
As they make their way to the stage, let's hear more about the Fish and Chips project.
Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs are unplanned. When a drop of ethanol accidentally landed on a nanosensor in our lab, it didn't destroy the device, it transformed it. We turned this discovery into a revolutionary process to create sensitive sensors at room temperature. In just 15 minutes, we achieved what previously required 12 hours at 500 degrees. Our sensors now protect crops, monitor animal health, and help us to prevent diseases like skin cancer.
Thank you so much. We are very honored to receive this award. I would like to acknowledge my fellow finalists. Your research is amazing and is as impactful as the recipients of this award. I wanted to thank our extraordinary research team at Macquarie University, Macquarie Research Office, our collaborators, our industry partners, and also our loved ones, Leila, Han, and Vivian, who walked this bold path with us. I also personally am very deeply grateful to the giants whose shoulder I stand on today, Professor Jagadish, Professor Candice Lang, Professor Helen Rizos, and our amazing DVCR, Professor Saki. Your mentorship and support has shaped my journey personally and will stay with me forever. And thank you to the Eureka Prize Committee for reminding us that innovation is an act of hope. And as promised to my dear friends Joe and Irina, I promised them that I'm going to wave to them, so this is for you.
Look, congratulations, Nasiri. I should point out the fish and chips team won tonight, not just because you have far and away the coolest name of any science team going around in Australia at the moment, but also you had a sort of real-life eureka moment, but then you turned it into something practical. What is the secret about making that crucial step in your field?
Sure. I think the credit goes to my former brilliant PhD student and now Dr. Jaden Chen. So when Jaden was doing his PhD in the lab, he was washing the glasswares, and one tiny droplet of ethanol accidentally landed on one of his sensors. If he was a normal PhD student, they would assume that this sample has been destroyed and they probably would make a new one. But I think his curiosity came to our rescue, and he actually tested that sample and he realized that that droplet of ethanol changed the entire nano and microstructure of that sample for good.
What a wonderful story. Congratulations to the entire team, Fish and Chips. And thank you so much, Andrew Peel. We've only got 4 awards to go, ladies and gentlemen. It's a wonderful room here at the Town Hall. The acoustics are amazing when they play the organ. The acoustics also mean if you mumble a bit, we can really hear it here upstairs. So just shh, for the next 10 if you can or so, as we acknowledge our last few awards. We're moving on now to the Eureka Prizes Environmental Research category. This is where we acknowledge outstanding research that's led to a practical improvement in the management and protection of Australia's natural environment. To announce the award, the Secretary of the New South Wales Department of Climate Change, Energy, the Environment and Water, Anthony Lean. Let's meet our finalists.
Living Seawalls. Macquarie University, University of New South Wales and Sydney Institute of Marine Science. For retrofitting seawalls with habitat panels to boost marine biodiversity. Threatened Species Initiative, the University of Sydney. For turning genomics into practical tools to protect Australia's threatened species.
So congratulations to both finalists. Can I also acknowledge all of the other finalists in whatever category that are doing such amazing science and research to put nature on a path to recovery and to deliver net zero for the world. And the winner of the 2025 Department of Climate Change, Energy, the Environment and Water New South Wales Eureka Prize for Environmental Research is Living Seawalls.
As they make their way to the stage, let's find out more about Living Seawalls.
Coastal construction destroys habitat for marine life. Living Seawalls has a simple solution. Our habitat modules transform flat construction into diverse marine habitat. These modified infrastructure can support 36% more species than bare seawalls, while filtering water and reducing invasive pests. Based in Sydney, operating worldwide, Living Seawalls is giving marine life a second chance.
So first of all, hats off to our fellow finalists, Threatened Species Initiative, for your amazing work. We're totally in awe. Shout out to our team member, Katie DeFawn, who's joining online from Boston, spreading the love of Living Seawalls over there. But Living Seawalls is really partnership. It's not just about the scientists that you see in front of you on the stage today, it's also the industrial designers. And I'd really like to acknowledge Alex Goad from Reef Design Lab and his crew of designers there, without which Living Seawalls would not be possible. It's been a long, hard road, and in the beginning there were a lot of doubters, but Ash Dorini, an engineer at North Sydney Council, was one of those that was behind us right from the start and has really led the way in being a champion for our work. The evidence base for Living Seawalls would not be possible without a massive team of HDR students, postdocs, research assistants, volunteers behind us, some of which are joining us on the stage today. So hats off to Aria, to Janine and Kyle for being part of our team. And then finally, I'd like to acknowledge G. Chapman, retired professor from the University of Sydney, whose seminal work really laid the foundations for greening of infrastructure, both in Australia and internationally. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. What I love about this is a project that hundreds of thousands of people would have seen and not realise they were looking at world-class science while doing it. Not just in Sydney, this has been deployed around the world. What's been a highlight so far in seeing this go from pipe dream to practical?
So I think there were a lot of doubters to start with. You know, you do something new and people are like, well, you know, what are the permissions do you need? How do you do it? And I think, you know, the first site under the harbour bridge, Sawmillers Reserve, and just seeing it there. And, you know, I think the beauty of Living Seawalls is that it's a really simple approach. People understand it. You add protective spaces, the marine life comes. And it's the arts meet science. You know, our coastal cities are where most of our population experience marine life for the first time. And so bringing marine life to them with Living Seawalls has been really, really phenomenal.
It's a beautiful, brilliant simplicity. Congratulations, Living Seawalls. Thank you so much, Anthony Lee. We've got 3 awards to go. It's my pleasure to hand back to the one and only Bernie Hobbs.
All right, thanks, Adam. Great that we've got that energy really peaking here in the room. We're still going strong. We've got 3 final awards to go, so we've got plenty more to celebrate. Our next prize of the evening is the 2025 Eureka Prize for Excellence in Research Software. This prize is awarded for the development, maintenance or extension of software that's enabled significant new scientific research. And to announce the winner, I'm delighted to welcome Mr. Keith Russell, Director of Outreach at Australian Research Data Commons. And while Keith makes his way, here are the finalists.
DART-R, University of Canberra, for enabling genetic insights that guide conservation and breeding decisions. Mixomix, the University of Melbourne, for integrating complex biological data to advance global research. Napari, for tools transforming how scientists analyse complex image data.
Good evening. At the Australian Research Data Commons, we care a lot about the data, obviously, that's in our name. And the data, some of the underlying data that's made this amazing science possible we've heard about today. However, this award is for something else, and what we really want to do here is recognise the tireless efforts that go into developing the software to analyse that data, and the amount of work and endeavour that goes behind that to turn that data into real science and into real outcomes. So, without any further ado, I would like to announce the winner of the 2025 Australian Research Data Commons Eureka Prize for Excellence in Research Software. And the winner is DART-R.
Woo! Please welcome the DART-R team to the stage. Woo!
Our team has developed a user-friendly software, DART-R,
which brings complex population genetics and genomics analysis to the fingertips of biologists.
DART-R is used in a wide range of fields, from conservation biology to protect endangered species.
From population ecology to revealing historical population sizes, to landscape ecology, to understanding evolutionary histories.
DART-R has an enthusiastic community across all sectors, such as industry, research, government, and education.
The DART-R team. Gathering data 24/7. He's filming everything as we speak. I don't know where that's going to be uploaded to, but... Congratulations. Woo!
Okay, wow. On behalf of the DART-R team, I'm honoured to accept the 2025 Australian Museum Eureka Prize for Excellence in Research Software. Initially, we had a collection of scripts, and DART-R grew and grew and grew and went bigger and bigger, and now it's an open source software which is used by lots of people, and suddenly we can analyse and protect endangered species. We're looking at human health data and support their analysis. So it's mind-blowing, and you can see I'm pretty excited. So I try to get back to my script.
Yep, 30 seconds.
So I want to acknowledge the extraordinary effort of our DART-R team and the international community, and honor all the finalists tonight, because your work demonstrates the vital role of research and science in driving discovery. And I thank the ARDC and the Australian Museum for recognizing and celebrating these amazing achievements. And thank you, Mum.
Congratulations, DART-R and Mum. And back to the microphone for just a quick question. So, you know, we've seen from the video and from your words just there that your software helps researchers around the world analyse complex genomic data, but making it open source and freely available, what sort of outcomes have you seen as a result of that?
I try to, I skipped that part of it, but obviously it's amazing. Some people take the software and analyze data in human health and find something, or they find to select a variety of crop species to increase production in agricultural settings. So it's really amazing what you can do with this kind of approach. So that's really humbling, honored, you know, to be part of that. And that's almost the best thing you can have. Someone is sending you an email. Thank you for that. It's really great that you helped us to analyze the data.
Fantastic. That's absolutely brilliant. Congratulations, Dart. And thank you very much, Keith, for the presentation. Our next prize of the evening is the 2025 Eureka Prize for promoting understanding of science. It's awarded to an individual scientist who's shared their expertise with a broad audience, informing, enthusing and engaging the Australian public. To announce the winner, it's my absolute pleasure to welcome Duncan Challen, General Manager of Business Development at Celestino, and let's take a look at the finalists.
Dr. Leela Landowski, University of Tasmania, who explains neuroscience through humour, storytelling and viral science videos. Dr. Vanessa Pirotta, Macquarie University, championing ocean conservation through clear, accessible storytelling for diverse audiences. Dr. Jodie Rowley, Australian Museum and University of New South Wales, for mobilising Australians to record frog calls and support conservation.
The winner of the 2025 Celestino Eureka Prize for promoting the understanding of science is Dr. Vanessa Pirotta.
Please welcome Dr. Pirotta to the stage.
Australia is surrounded by ocean, and we are truly privileged to one of nature's greatest natural shows, the migration of humpback whales on the Humpback Highway. But for many of us, we don't truly understand the importance of the ocean. I'm making sure we are informed from all ages, from young ones to those environmental decision makers. I'm also there in times of need when Australians want to understand the why. I'm encouraging people to connect with the world around them, so together we are more informed to make good decisions about our ocean's future.
Yeah, she's very new to a camera. She definitely needs instruction on what to do there. Yeah, well done. Yeah. Congratulations.
Wow, thank you so much. I can't really process this. I'm so emotional. But grazie Hafna, Celestino, because I know they're Maltese by chance. I just worked that out recently. And my father's Maltese. Hello, Dad. I hope you're watching. He doesn't know what I do, really.
Communication starts at home,
That's
Vanessa.
correct, and so does my nonna. I hope she's watching. Really, thank you so much to the entire team behind this. The other two finalists, we were a table of frogs, brains and whales. You two rock, and I'm honoured to be in the league with you both. This is so fabulous. I'm going to wrap it up. Can I just say, one person who no one's thanked yet is Renuka. Renuka from Australian Museum. Yeah, Renuka. Because you're dealing with a whole bunch of academics and that's a big task. To also thank my Macquarie family and proudly, I know, thank you Macquarie, and also my ANU alumni family. We love the ANU as well. Thank you very much. And also my lovely husband Oliver and Hugo and Xavier, my two sons. I hope you're watching. The final word for this, wait.
No, I'm thinking it's 10 o'clock. Surely they're in bed. Yeah.
When I finished my PhD, I was told that, oh yeah, you women go off and have your children and then that's it. No, it's an important part to be here standing and sharing science because we need to be there for that next generation. And it's so incredibly important to be accepted as a mother in science. And I have to say thank you to the Gamma Rangers, the Indigenous Rangers I work with who accepted me for the first time, the first people to accept me as a woman in science, but also a mother in science, which is really special. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Vanessa. And thanks to the Gamma Rangers. Beautiful. So we've seen that your work, you try to reach, you strive to reach people at all levels, politicians, kids, everyone in between. There's not that much difference sometimes, but yeah. have you got a common message that you're always trying to get across?
Well, I usually on play school say don't release your balloons into the air, because that's important. But I think the secret sauce is that it's really important that we reset how Australia views science, and strategically and very conveniently, in 2 weeks' time I'll be delivering a National Press Club address about that. And it's important because when you have young minds learning, at the same time the secret sauce is the big ones who let them watch what they see is very important. And that's why we need to continue our investment from the ground up to empower our next generations of science makers. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Congratulations, Vanessa, and thanks again, Duncan. Can you believe we have reached the final award of the night, the big one, the Eureka Prize for Leadership in Science? One of the 21 big ones. Presenting the award this evening will be President of the Australian Museum Trust, Brian Hartzer. But before we announce the finalists and reveal the winner, Brian would like to say a few words. So please welcome Brian Hartzer.
Hi, Bernie. Good to see you. Evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming tonight. It's an absolute privilege to be here tonight to present the prestigious Australian Museum Eureka Prize for Leadership in Science. Now, leadership in science is different from leadership in other fields. Yes, managing teams and driving results matters, but scientific leadership requires something more. It requires the courage to ask questions that others haven't thought to ask, the persistence to pursue answers that may take years to find, and the wisdom to know when to pivot when the evidence points in a new direction. The best scientific leaders don't just advance knowledge, they create environments where others can flourish. They mentor the next generation, build bridges between disciplines, and translate complex discoveries into solutions that benefit society. The work being recognized tonight represents more than research excellence. It represents hope. Hope for solving some of humanity's greatest challenges, hope for inspiring young minds to pursue careers in science, and hope for a future where scientific leadership continues to drive progress for all Australians. I'm pleased to say that this year's recipient exemplifies all of these qualities. And so back to you, Bernie, to announce the finalists.
Beautiful. Well, let's let the video do it for us. Tonight's finalists.
Professor Lachlan Blackhall, Australian National University, leading Australia's energy transition through science, strategy and collaboration. Professor Mark Hutchinson, University of Adelaide, driving science translation, startup creation and national policy reform. Distinguished Professor Ian Paulson, Macquarie University, building Australia's synthetic biology capability through research, infrastructure and commercialisation.
Beautiful. Brian.
3 very worthy winners. We can only pick one, and I'm pleased to say the winner of this year's Eureka Prize for Leadership in Science is Distinguished Professor Ian Paulson.
Fantastic. Crowd-pleasing result, a true leader who embodies the very best of Australian science. Please welcome to the stage Ian Paulson.
Imagine if we could sustainably produce our plastics, fuels and chemicals with engineered microbes instead of fossil fuels. To achieve this vision, I founded the ARC Centre of Excellence in Synthetic Biology. In 3 years, we've spun out 9 startup companies that have raised $180 million in venture capital. I then established the Australian Genome Foundry, a national facility for accelerating synbio research. I'm very proud of how we're driving the emergence of a new bioeconomy in Australia.
Congratulations. And in true leadership form, that was just Ian getting us back on time because we were running a little bit low. So he went upstairs early.
All right, apparently you can't bring me anywhere because I spilt my dessert over myself about 5 minutes ago. I'm only here because of the efforts of literally hundreds of people. So I've got to thank the brilliant, creative young researchers in my team and in my broader centre. I've also got to thank my operational staff. They have the toughest job in the world. I am chaotic and disorganised. They have to somehow get me to do the things I don't want to do. I'd like to thank my very supportive partner, Phyllis. She deserves the Eureka Prize for putting up with me. Lastly, I'd like to thank all my colleagues at Macquarie University who've supported me and facilitated synthetic biology. In particular, I'd like to thank my partner in crime, who's not here tonight, my DVCR, Saki Pretorius. We've been on a journey over 12 years where we've gone from literally a thought bubble and no researchers to now an entire ecosystem both at Macquarie and across Australia. Thank you.
Fantastic, Ian. Thank you. But before you leave the stage, Ian, early up the stairs, early up the stage, I know how your mind works. You've put Australia on the global stage for synthetic biology. What are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of the young researchers in my centre, and I'm proud, we've spun out 10 startup companies now. 9 of those have been spun out by either early career researchers or PhD students.
Fantastic. The future of science is in good hands. Excellent leadership. Thank you very much, Ian Paulson. Thank you so much, Brian. And I think you want to say something, Brian? You've got that look about you.
Yeah. Just on behalf of the Australian Museum Trust, just a couple of quick thanks. It's been wonderful to see all the finalists and all the winners here tonight. It's so inspiring. Congratulations to all of you. One more round of applause for everybody.
Woo!
I also want to thank, if I may, Kim McKay and her whole leadership team at the Australian Museum. They've done such a phenomenal job this year, and it's wonderful to see the contribution the Australian Museum continues to make to science. Well done. And in that, I particularly want to call out Julie Elmers, the acting director of AMRI, and Professor Shana Young, the chief scientist, and all the amazing scientists at AMRI. The one thing that I always tell people about the Australian Museum that they are incredibly surprised and delighted to hear is that there's over 100 scientists at the museum doing real science, important science, every day. And if you haven't come and seen the museum recently, you really should, and see what great work they're doing. Well done to all of you. And finally, I want to thank the team who put tonight on from the museum, so particularly Renuka, Elizabeth, and the wonderful Jacinta Spirit, who organizes it all. Well done, guys. Terrific night, very successful. And finally, how about one final round of applause for our amazing hosts, Adam Spencer and Bernie Hobbs. Well done.
We love it. And that brings tonight to a close. Congratulations to all of our finalists, all of our recipients, and thank you so much, everyone in the room, for giving such a lot of love, attention and applause. It really makes a difference to our finalists and recipients to feel that vibe. So thank you, and for those online, those at home as well.
Yes, absolutely. To our friends at home, thank you so much for joining us in 2025. We hope to see you in person in 2026. But to all the people joining us online, a big farewell, good night, and thanks for joining us online.
Yeah.